head coach of Trinidad and Tobago, Dwight Yorke. We open the floor to questions and then we switch over to the virtual forum. Opening question for Yorke.
Hi, Coach. We've seen a tough game today against Saudi, and your team almost qualified, although the ball hit the post. How do you see the whole match from your point of view?
Well, I think that we will, when the group stage was selected, we knew that we were into a very difficult group with the host of being America and obviously Saudi as a guest under the PIF. So we knew that we are one of the underdogs alongside Haiti. So we was under no delusion that this was going to be a hard campaign for us to get out of. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, the experience over or during the Gold Cup was invalid for, as far as I'm concerned. The experience for my players who've never been in this position before, those 3 matches that we played, despite the defeat against America, despite the draw against Haiti and of course Saudi, I think it will be the experience maybe for some of these players, I won't say of a lifetime, but in terms of improvement, in terms of them going forward with their playing career. In relation to the game today, it shows that we fought all the way. We got off to arguably the best possible start that we could. But we know that at some period of the game that the Saudi, with their quality in possession, that they was going to always, come at us. I like what I see from my players, the odds against us, and to hold out and play in the manner that we did. And as you mentioned, to have the opportunity to possibly win the game and qualify at the very death. It would have been a lot of unbelievable achievement for us, but it wasn't meant to be. But I think we'll take a lot from it going forward as a team, as the players will gain that experience. And we look forward to the World Cup campaign next because that's the next big thing on the agenda.
Do we have another question for Dwight? We switch to the virtual forum. You have one? Go ahead, yeah.
You've been in Saudi Arabia for a while, so you were close to the Saudi football. So how did you see the Saudi team, and do you think they deserve to qualify?
Well, listen, they have one of the most talked about league at the moment because of the influx of the foreign players that are entering into their league. We know that there's a huge investment with not just football but sports in general. I understand the league. I see in the league. I comment. I work on the league, so I'm very aware of the quality that they possess. The World Cup campaign hasn't been to where they want it to be. Obviously, the new coach has come back in. He's been there before. And so I knew that it was going to be a tough ask for us today. But the reality that we show that we can compete at this level, we just have to have a little bit more self-belief and a little bit more confident in the way we play. But I expected exactly the Saudis to be competitive in every aspect, fought with their little intricate passing, their little bit of clever. They have a certain pattern of play that they stick to and believe in, and you can see why they can cause problem for opposition. But I felt that my team matched them in every department as possible, and certainly, as I said, a little bit unlucky for not to take in all 3 points, which would have allowed us to then qualify for the quarterfinals.
Okay, so we switch to the virtual forum. Andre Sokla, go ahead with your question.
Hey everyone, Andre Soklal from Extra Time TV. Hey Dwight, as a Trinidadian, we all disappointed from the result. It looked very close at one point in time. Even though the result was not what we wanted, I did see a lot of positives in this game in terms of how the team was set up. Defensively, we looked a lot more solid and we saw a lot of creativity. One question I'd like to ask, I saw from a tactical perspective, you used Alvin Jones as a center back, and it worked pretty well. I mean, obviously the result, we wanted to win, and it should, we ended up 1-1. We did create some chances, But was that a decision you made before the game, or something that changed as the tournament went along? Because Alvin Jones is known, you have used him as a centre back. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, listen, there's no doubt that Alvin, I thought he was exceptional today in terms of how he approached the game. There is a lot of talk surrounding this team and a lot of expectation at the same time. But these I've spent time with these players. I know how they're working. They're trying to get things worked out. We have chopped and changed in terms of formation and players playing in different system. And it's all about learning and seeing players' adaptability to certain position. We got obviously losing Tringham in that defensive area, and then Bateau not being fit for this game. We having to make some changes, and Alvin suited that role. He had played there before in a three defensive players, but today we decided to use him in a 2, and I thought he was exceptional. So, it's good to have those options, and what I like, he came in, and despite some of the challenges throughout this Gold Cup for him, he showed that the determination and concentration today that is required at this level. And if he does that all the time, then we have a player who can play, a utility player that can play in all these different positions.
Okay. I think we're all good. Do we have a further question? Andrew, you have one more? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so one last question. Obviously, I know the result is a bit deflating. It's still fresh in everybody's minds. But like I said before in my previous question, I did see a lot of positives. The game, we almost snatched it at the end. We did create 2 clear chances. Levi Garcia forcing a very good save from Saudi Arabia. Hitting the posts, that's just how the luck goes sometimes. Heading into the potential preparation for the World Cup qualifiers, I have seen some progression in a good way. Mentally, how would you... what is the approach mentally going in, speaking to the players after a game like this?
Well, I think if you have to assess the 3 games that we played in this tournament, America, of course, who is a standout candidate, they have won all 3 games in this qualifying system, shows that the gap between us and America is much bigger than I thought. So there's work there to be done. But obviously, the response in the last 2 games, despite a lot of people think that we may have lost the game, although we had taken a point from Haiti, and then, of course, taking a point from Saudi. So there's, as you mentioned, there is a lot of positiveness. I think what it tells you that, or gives us an indication, not just as backroom staff, but as also as players, that the work, when you play at this level, there is no respite. You have to work hard, and you have to work beyond. You gotta have to commit 100%. And once the experience of being in such high competition will no doubt, which is the new era of Trinidad and Tobago, the new faces that people are still getting familiar with, will put them in a good place going forward. So there's no question in my mind, having coming off these experience being here at the Gold Cup, that when it comes to the World Cup campaign in September, this experience of being here will be valuable for us, not just as a team, but as a group, and understanding what it takes to be at the top. So I'm quietly confident that the players have benefit enormously, although the result may not suggest that. But the learning process and these players to develop to the way they should be will then give them an indication, and they will have a 3 months still now where they can now reflect, understand how hard they have to work to achieve the goal of trying to get to the World Cup.
Okay. All right, we want to thank Coach Dwight Yorke for his time, and remember that you can find the complete conferences on the Concacaf Media Hub platform. Thank you.
Baby.